Commentary Booth is a show for media lovers by media lovers just like you. If you want to support the show, go to pariomagazine.com.au. Jackson recommended to me a very weird, interesting, awkward heck of a show. I'll leave that one to Jackson to introduce.
So it's called The Rehearsal, and it's produced by this guy called Nathan Fielder, who had this show called Nathan For You a couple of years ago, and it was the weirdest, funniest show I think I've seen in a long time. Basically, he went forward to businesses and was like, all right, I've got an idea for you to make your business better, like struggling businesses, and he'd go to them and they do it. So, for example, one of the episodes of Nathan For You was he went to a ice cream place, gelato place, and suggested as a way to get people talking on the internet, because the internet's a good place to get your business going. Many years ago, he engineered a poo flavored ice cream.
Lovely. That's what I want.
For people to go eat. I mean, if he did that now with how much people talk about eating certain things on the internet. But yes, we did that, and he went to like another like department store and was like, why don't you set up like a room out the back for like boyfriends where they can just sit and while women go shop, whatever. So he's got this new show called The Rehearsal. It's on Binge, and basically he finds someone, he sets an ad for someone, and if like the first episode he does this ad on Craigslist or something, and he's like, oh, is there something you've ever want to confess to someone you don't know how to confess or whatever? And apparently he's found this guy. A lot of this show, I don't think it's real. Like it's too weird.
Yeah.
Like
it's very weird.
But like with it, you don't know if it's real or not because it's America. So there genuinely could be these people in America that like this guy had a problem. He's like, I'm in a trivia team and I lied that I have like a master's or something. So basically he helps tell the person that he's lied to, like how to admit he was wrong. But he basically like stalks a guy for months, recreates a set and like put all these scenarios, and it's just
it recreated the guy's bloody apartment.
Yeah, full recreated the guy's apartment, went through like found like a similar actor and went through all this stuff, and it's like you don't it's just so awkward. Like you just and that's just his personality, and that's what he's like.
And then like he recreated the entire bar where they play trivia, like so that it was exact. Like even the picture on the wall was like slightly crooked in the exact same way that it is in the trivia bar.
The balloon was in the roof.
Yeah, just to like try and get this guy to feel like when he's doing these rehearsals, it's like a real thing. Like it's not a rehearsal, it is the actual event. And yeah, like you said, just so awkward and so weird and so like, I can't tell if it's real or not.
Yeah.
And like the way Nathan acts too, like he's just so deadpan about everything. So he just like, I can't tell, like, is he trying to be funny or is this just the way he is?
Yeah. And like, that's what it was like in his previous show. And that's, I guess, like the way it's all set up. That's why, like, is this real or not? But then when you go back to the whole, like, how many people are in America and how you still see people get catfished. And there's the show Catfish is still running right now. Like, it's like, that could be well true. And then, like, yeah, by the end of the episode, like, spoiler, he's like, this is all fake. And the guy's like, you're a horrible person. Like, you suck. And it's just so odd. I can't get my head around it. It's just like, I love his first show, but this second show, I'm like, oh, I usually don't like cringy stuff in shows or movies. And this is
this entire show is cringy.
Yeah.
But yeah, I did like that. Like it got to the point where at the very end, Nathan had to end up confessing to the guy that he got to come in because it was like, oh yeah, because I wanted to really make sure that we got the outcome that you wanted. I had to find out the trivia questions beforehand, and I knew that cheating was a big issue for you. So I didn't just give you the answers. I hired all these actors to subliminally give you the answers. And I was just like, what the hell?
Yeah.
But I feel like that's kind of like that's kind of how I pick up all my knowledge for trivia too. Like it's just, you watch things and you hear like, oh, this was this. And like, you're not physically going out there with the goal of learning this information. You kind of just pick it up through osmosis and things happening around you. But yeah, the guy was not happy to be told that
No.
we kind of rigged the system so that you would know all
Yeah.
the answers without being directly told them.
Yeah. Bloody hell. Like, so odd. So odd.
And then, since you recommended it to me, I watched the next 2 episodes as well. The next episode, Nathan brings in a woman who doesn't have a partner, but her life dream was to be a mother. But she's always been too scared to be a mother because she thinks she might stuff it up. So he brings her in to do a motherhood rehearsal. So they bring her in, and I think it's meant to be like 12 weeks or something. So she starts with a newborn, but because they are using child actors, they have to get the parents' permission on basically every decision that she might make. The children can only work for so many hours per day, so they have to sub the children out without her noticing as well. And then to condense it into a full raising a child from birth to them leaving, after so many hours, they sub out a baby for a 2-year-old. And then after another few hours, they sub out a 2-year-old for a 5-year-old. And then in order to not mess with her brain, and after episode 2, somehow Nathan becomes part of the experiment and he's like in the rehearsal as the dad. And to not mess with the woman and Nathan's brain, all the mirrors in the house are artificial mirrors so that when they look in the mirror, because the child has grown 6 years, the mirror reflects back a 6-year aged up version of them. It's just like,
oh no.
And then because they're on a farm growing all their own fruit and veggies, they'll like plant seeds in the morning, and then by the afternoon they'll go out and his whole team has come in and put in full grown fruits and vegetables that they then pick out. And episode 3 ended on such a funny way where he's sitting at the bench in the kitchen, she's cooking, and he looks over at one of the capsicums that they've apparently just grown fresh out of the garden and pulled out, and it's sitting there and it's got a grocery store sticker on it. And he's just like, oh, and sometimes you just miss stuff. But yeah, it's super awkward.
Yeah.
Like interesting. Like I'd probably recommend people watch it once just to like get a feel for how weird this show is, but it's not something that's drawing me back to watch every single week. Like, oh, there's a new episode out, I need to check that out.
That was like, that's the thing. Nathan, for you, it was similarly awkward, but it was more interesting in a way because they were like, I've been to uni, I've got an MBA, I help businesses, and it was hella awkward, but it kept drawing me back. Whereas this one, I'm just like, throughout it, like, I don't want to, like, yeah. And obviously, I've had a big week last week, so I was like, I'm just not going to rush back to watch this because I don't think I can deal with it.
Like, it feels kind of like that Love on the Spectrum, like where I feel like that's awkward to watch, but at least at the end, like it's got a happy outcome. This one is awkward to watch and then kind of just ends weird. So it's just like, I don't know how to feel after watching this show.
Yeah, I agree.
The Commentary Booth is a fan-funded production of Jamie Apps Media. You can support the podcast alongside our magazine, Pario Magazine, on Patreon at patreon.com/Jamie Apps Media. The following people supported at the community support group level or higher, and you cannot fathom how incredibly appreciative we are for their support. Brian and June Hart, Blake Robinson, Karina Renee, Courtney Paulson, Darren Hatcliffe, Jaxon Carr, and Tracy Apps.